What?
They don't do anything to try to remove the back.
Oh, because of pressure. It's like the water bottle in the airplane.
Right. Isn't that funny? I always think.
I was like, what happened to it? I know, it's just Mario.
So when you go to Beijing?
10 years ago.
So when you were here, you decided to buy my siblings.
Oh yeah. Did you go to the astronomy lab? So my head exploded. It was really ugly.
Did you go 60,000 feet?
It's good for you.
It goes up and down. And then about 12 years, 15 years later, Rusty has a garage sale with my son.
Because it was turned over like that. Does anyone else want the Holy Sands? Oh, you have some down there. You can never have enough.
I don't know, I didn't prepare, but
you should always be prepared when you're with Ginny.
you know, I came to Colombia 11 years ago, and always I was interested in neuropathology because I did 2 years in neuropathology fellowship. Although I was not board certified neuropathologist because I did not do anatomical pathology, but I considered myself pathologist, histologist, oriented neurologist, and so glad to see Rusty because he's open. He was so supportive our need, and his biopsy rounds and lectures are so helpful, and we work together in a number of papers, and I want him to continue his work. I understand he does, so that would be great, but I think it's really made my new life at Columbia so fruitful and productive because Rusty was so helpful in terms of biopsy, autopsy program and anything else. So I really missed him. I want him to be very active, still going on as a primary neuropathologist, but all we're going to changing our plans and so what I can do is all the best, and I know you're doing the same thing, but this is a good point to just celebrate your turning point, and so all the best for your next career. Okay.
Remembering anything before Rusty.
Can you hear? Can you hear?
Can you hear?
There was, can you hear me down there?
Yeah. Yes.
There was muscle disease before Rusty. He is actually younger than Charco. When we started being interested in this disease, it was clinical neurologists who did the pathology. It started with Michael Shy and Mr. Gango. Nick Ganatis worked with Shy, so that became a professional pathologist. But at Columbia, the first one to do muscle pathology was Don Schott.
Yeah. Wow. Did he set up the laboratory?
I think so.
Yeah.
I thought he was in Pennsylvania.
So Bob Lovelace
Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And then when we came back from Pennsylvania, he decided to stay there.
Yeah.
Wow. So anyhow, there was Andy Engel, was a neurologist. I guess there were some others too. But when Rusty came, the whole thing changed. You were the first Columbia pathologist to really be interested in muscle disease. And that changed our world and put me into touch with you, and I became one of your most steadfast and greatest and deepest admirers and it's a great pleasure to toast to you.
Hi. Now.
No, well, I'll talk about it a little bit later, but I have this job with Therapath, and I'll talk a little bit about how I decided to do this.
You say you had a job with Sarah Palin?
Shall I talk about it now?
No, Rusty.
Yeah. I'm going to talk about it.
Later on.
Yeah. Okay. She says I can't talk about Therapath. Why not? I mean, they want to know.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Like later.
Yeah, because everything that I know and what I've done here. And I'm extremely grateful for it. When I started this back in 2004, I wasn't the first choice. They asked Dr. Marksberry to recruited you to be the pathologist, and I can remember when he came in, and I walked into the hospital with him, and he said, well, how's Columbia? And I said, well, it's fine. For some reason he decided not to go there, and it was an incredible opportunity. And I can remember sitting down with you, Bud Rowland, I think Julie was there, and he asked me, why do you want to muscle biopsies? And I said, well, you can't do biopsies on brains very much. So, but you can do it on a muscle biopsy, and you can learn a lot about the muscle by doing biopsies. And I guess that's essentially the way I started.
Good philosophy.
Yeah. So, and during this, 40 years or so since I've been here, everybody has taught me through my interactions with all of you. And just to give you an example, I can remember when I first started doing muscle histochemistry, I worked with another person that a lot of you don't know, Abe Eastwood, who did the electron microscopy. He had a PhD. He was incredibly good and very interested in doing electron microscopy. And together, both of us kind of worked to do muscle biopsies. And we had one case, a patient of Dr. Rowland that had progressive external thalmoplegia. And I don't remember whether or not we had the clinical information, but we got the muscle biopsy, and it looked like it was normal, so we signed it out with no significant abnormalities. And Dr. Rowland came back, and I think he called Abe East. I don't know if you called me, but you both called us and told us that we made a misdiagnosis. Has PEL, has Kearns-Sayre syndrome, because you had defined it by then. This was in 1976. And he said there have to be